Opa! Welcome everybody to Stavvy's World. 904-800-STAV. Call in. We'll solve all your problems. We have an expert panel here.
Ooh.
Very happy to have two of my pals, Clare Kane. Say hello.
Hey, brother.
Very nice. And we have Brittany on the couch looking nice.
Hello.
Got the leopard on.
Hello. Yeah, anything. I felt
Is that
like,
leopard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheetah?
It's got even face on.
I like the
I don't think I know the difference. You like there's several faces, so it's kind of like
it's cool.
Abstractly, it could be a lot of bodies in one.
I like animal
Frog.
print. I'm an animal print guy.
I trust that about you.
Yeah.
So I feel like subconsciously, I was like, I'm gonna go for a pattern.
Thank you.
I think you're a pattern.
Thank you so much.
Cow?
Okay.
Thank you for someone dressing up for the fucking podcast. No, you look great.
I put on a bra
You
for
look
this.
great. Thank you. I appreciate you not letting them swing. So.
They're perked. Church bells.
And do they swing? do your tits swing? First question: do your tits swing? We do a hard-hitting interview show here.
I tell you, one of the first times I met you,
Yeah.
I said something about wearing a. We were doing that Comedy Central 15-minute thing, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm wearing a bra for the first time in a long time." And you look at me and you go, I ain't mad at it. I go, who's this fucking guy?
I think it was a good choice. You're on camera. They looked good.
He's my manager all of a sudden.
I was trying to foster community in the comedy space. I was trying to make my female coworkers feel appreciated. Is that so bad? We can't even tell a woman she's beautiful anymore without getting written up by HR.
Hey, I only quit for like 5 years after that.
Yeah, I remember that. That was awesome. The Comedy Central thing. I just remember being like, wow, this 5-minute digital-only Comedy Central thing.
We really did.
To the moon from here.
Where was that? In New York?
Was at the. Where was it?
It was at Littlefield.
Not Bell House.
Oh,
Yes,
really?
Littlefield. Yeah.
This was before being on the internet even mattered.
Well, what's funny is
Right.
Comedy Central almost was right.
Almost.
That was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. They just did a little bit of it. And then by the time it was the right move, they were out of it. It was just whatever. I think it stopped existing, but
yeah. And mine was in COVID, so there were 22. It was outside.
outside.
Courtyard, and there were 22 people in the audience because of social distancing, and it sounds and looks like it.
Yeah.
It's kind of rough.
Yeah, it's awesome. They caught that on camera.
Yeah.
There were 20 people with like PPE equipment. It was really like
They treat us like dogs.
They did. We were all in the kennel. We had
Comedy
pizza.
oh.
They paid like $400. It was like it didn't pay shit.
They put so much makeup on me, I looked different ethnically.
Yeah, you definitely did. Yeah. You were in kabuki makeup. That was hilarious. It was like we were the first people to do digital only, and Comedy Central didn't do it. And sorry guys, this is boring. We won't do much more comedy talk. But before that, that was like the equivalent of like the premium blend, or before that it was Adam Devine's house party.
Right.
And the people before us got to go to Hawaii, get a vacation, and they got paid like $15,000. And then for us, they were like, hey, we'll get you an Uber and we'll pay you $400. But hey, it changed my career. I do like that there's like, because I'm bald and toothless in that. And so I like that that's a time capsule.
That was a good era
of the toothless look.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, that's very interesting, gals. But can I stop you right there? It just feels like you're the kind of gal who needs to know about our sponsor, Freeze Pipe. Yes, if you want the opportunity to shop the smoothest pipes, bubblers, bongs, and dab rings at everyday great prices, just go to thefreezepipe.com and use code Stavvy for 10% off your entire order. That's thefreezepipe.com and code Stavvy for 10% off. Shop today and start fighting fire with ice.
Clare and Brittany.
I'm sorry, you were saying? Well, we have some other... Listen, we have some other digital projects, huh? We got a special.
Oh yeah.
Right? We got an album. Let's plug our stuff. Brittany Carney, what? And I didn't say your last name. I just said Brittany's here. And I just realized not everyone who's watching is friends with Brittany like we are.
Yeah.
Her name is Brittany Carney.
Thank you.
I forgot your name and I sexualized Claire. That's what I did off the top.
Expect nothing less.
I think I probably talked about your husband's penis when he was on, to be fair.
Yeah.
It goes both ways on Stavvy's World. But you got a special out?
Yeah, I have a special out. It's on, where should I look?
Wherever you want, whatever feels right.
I look into Eldis's eyes.
Yeah.
Just look, gaze into Eldis's
You're
eyes.
doing great, Brittany.
He's zooming in.
Gaze into
somehow.
Eldis's
I think let me just sit up here first so I can lean.
yeah.
Okay, but yeah, my special's on YouTube. It's called That Is My Horse.
Nice.
Half an hour on YouTube. Please watch it. It's on there.
How are
Thank
people
you.
liking it?
I think they're liking it fine. My dad sent me almost manic text yesterday because a week has gone by and he hasn't seen it. And so yesterday he sent me a message that was like very effusive, but with like 4 exclamation points behind each sentence. And I'm like,
wow.
what? They didn't tell the boomers that you can only use one.
Yeah,
Per
it looks weird.
like accolade, right? Anyway, so yeah, my dad likes it.
Is he an exclamation points guy?
No, that's
He
why
seems like a very subdued. I don't know
He's very
your
subdued,
I don't know
yeah,
your
yeah.
family other than through your Instagram stories.
Oh, sure.
But
sure.
they seem to be very subdued Asian, like
yeah.
black
It's very
Asians.
subdued, right.
That's how I would categorize them.
Right. Perfect punctuation, but he kind of went off. So
Interesting.
my dad likes it. I think
That's
it's been
good.
getting pretty nice reception. I could use more reception. So
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Of course.
Like, subscribe.
Like, yeah.
And you have an album?
I got an album coming out May 16th.
Nice. This will it probably is May 16th by now.
It's coming out
Yeah,
today,
it's
but
actually out probably. I don't know, Eldis, what's the calendar say?
Steam
I
and
don't know.
drop.
Yeah.
We're not that
What
far.
What a
ahead.
fucking awesome producer, man. No fucking cold Diet Cokes. Don't know when the fucking episode is coming out. God damn
We
it,
got some
dude.
open spots around that era, so I say within 2 to 4 weeks of that date, it should be out, plus or minus.
And we'll promote Brittany's special now. Sorry guys, we do this ahead of time. I'm on my little wellness journey. You know, I've been in Baltimore. I'm only coming up here to pod. So, you know, we gotta
What a life.
Yeah, it's currently November 2023.
salute to President Trump. We always knew you had it in you, sir.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if you're doing things so far in advance, what if another 9/11 happens, and then they're going, "Why isn't Stavros talking about
No one's gonna
the
want
clown
that.
car that ran into the
Ooh,
Washington
clown car would be
Monument
fun.
or whatever?"
That would be awesome.
Could do a little intro.
Well,
Yeah.
we
Right.
don't. I would cut in.
You cut
I would cut in.
You do a tribute.
I would do a tribute. I'd be like moment of silence, and then I would, if it was a clown car, I would maybe spray Eldis in the face with a little. I would solemnly spray Eldis in the face with a little seltzer water out of my rose. Although I guess that would be they would be the terrorists. The clowns would be the terrorists. So,
Yeah, so you'd
maybe
be
that would look wrong.
sympathizing.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know what look. Did they have a point? You know what I mean? Maybe I'm on their side.
They might in a couple years.
Well, that's again. Did Biden rig it again? And that's the only way we could get the truth out there is by driving a clown car into the Washington Monument.
I'm
'Cause then,
lost.
yeah.
Talking about.
I just had a bad riff that Stavvy had to kind of add on.
No.
to because-
I'm in. I think it was a good riff, and I'm in there. So anyway,
Wait, it's cool to see this up close. I've
like
been
it?
curious.
Who did this?
It's a mural.
my sister-in-law, she's
Oh,
an
really?
artist. Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
Look at this one.
It's very nice. Yeah. Yeah, you just can't beat hand-painted Greek mural stuff.
It's just a nice.
Do not do graffiti on
It
my
gives
shit.
the room a warmth.
Yes, I like it. I want it to feel like like a trashy little restaurant.
Yeah. Definitely,
perfect. I love
Definitely does.
That's the vibe. Do you anybody here ever work in a restaurant?
I worked in coffee shops.
That makes sense.
That's
so a thing you would do.
That's all you.
But I feel like you would be bad at making the coffee.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yes and no.
Let's see.
I
She was for sure.
I wasn't bad at making the coffee.
Okay.
I think because I was like excited about it I was
the
like
steamed drinks and shit.
Yeah, and I got
could do
good
that?
at foaming soy milk. This was when soy milk was still
Being
king,
foamed.
right before oat and almond.
And had no idea what was around the corner.
But I was terrible at the register and like doing any kind of coffee shop accounting. So at the end of the summer, I got let go before I had to go back to college because I messed up the cash register.
Oh.
But what he didn't know, what Jesse with long hair, who was in a punk band, my manager at the time didn't know, is that I was
a punk band that was your authority figure?
Yeah.
I'm
right.
going to guess white guy named Jesse with long hair.
Yeah. Who
that,
wore
was
like
that was the man.
You know, like a newsboy cap over, like he had long hair,
yeah.
but then was probably self-conscious about his hairline. So he put on a... he put a newsboy cap, and anyway,
that's a great look.
I think newsboy I was good cap. At filming. Have you ever worked?
You were stealing from the cash register?
No.
Or you were just bad at your job? Because that would have been cool.
If I stole?
Yeah.
No, if I stole, it was without realizing it. You know what I mean? Like, just maybe miscalculation. So
yeah.
I think I was good.
Okay. I've stolen from every job I've ever had.
Oh, what's your
like
biggest?
You're supposed to.
What's your biggest come up from a job?
I'd rather not say.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Lorne Michaels Rolex.
Let's just say I got a size 5 Gucci loafers.
She's got the cowbell Will Ferrell was playing. She's got it in her house.
I've worked at a place called the Oinkster.
Hell yeah,
that's awesome. In LA.
The Oinkster,
like pork.
It was pork-based restaurant.
Pork-based.
I love that.
And then when I first moved here, I worked at a butcher shop.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's
and
hot,
I was
actually.
a meat monger.
Love that. I wanted to be a butcher, but it was too much work.
Too much work?
You had to get trained and shit like that.
Yeah. But I wasn't. They wouldn't let me cut the meat.
I just wanted to fucking take a big ass thing and go bah, 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 bah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You have to be trained to
You
like.
have to be trained. You have to learn shit.
Like what knives to use for what?
What knives? What body parts are what?
Oh, sure.
How to cook the butts of animals.
Oh, I know how to cook a pork butt.
Yeah.
Low and slow, baby. Let that go overnight.
Why? Because it's dry.
No, it's quite the opposite. Sorry, I know you're the meat monger, but it's so fatty.
Cook it down and it's all fat.
And it melts
and
down.
if you do it quickly, it gets too chewy.
Yeah.
But if you that's what pulled pork is made of. For my money, you want to get it before it becomes pulled pork, and it's just a succulent piece of meat. I still want a little chew on my pork butt, personally.
Want some give.
I want a little give. I want it to fight me a little bit.
I like choking on the fat.
Hell yeah, now we're talking.
Now we're talking. Speaking of my man's penis.
No way. Does Nick have a big penis? I would.
You know what's so funny? He's like, if Stavros, he said, if Stavros asked if I have a big penis, tell him I said yes.
He knew what kind of show this was. Shout out to Nick Naney, friend of the pod. We're gonna have him on a free episode as well.
He's cut. It's long. It's fine.
Nice. Good for him.
But I worked at a butcher shop. But before I was a meat monger, I had
to just put his picture up during this conversation so everybody knows.
Put a face to the
to the face of the hog, to the oinkster.
There he is.
No, you don't have, just do it in post, motherfucker. We know what Nick looks like. You don't have to look him up.
All right, we'll plug it in.
And get him off my screen. I don't want to look at him this whole time. We have
a real selection. There's like 16 thumbnails.
Getting too wet.
Get him off my fucking screen. There. Thank you.
What is it? I was like what are those called? Porters? The people who clean stuff.
Porters isn't that in trains when they fucking take your bags?
Motherfucker. In New York, I think it's like I had to clean all the meat grinders and shit, and I had to like sweep away blood into the drains.
Wow.
Damn. But you didn't get to cut shit.
Eventually, they taught me how to break down chickens.
Nice.
Which is really helpful.
So you can take a whole chicken and just...
You apply that to today?
Today?
If you're cooking?
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. How long... Go ahead, Brittany.
Well, did you guys... Okay, this coffee shop job I was talking about, we had
let's go back to Jason.
Yeah, we also had to learn to break down chickens. And so we... the textbook... We had a textbook. We had to pass a test at the beginning of the ship.
That sucks.
That was about like... Yeah, it did suck because it was like
coffee.
Yeah. Like coffee, like what kind of beans are grown where.
I quit
That
immediately.
Did your job have anything formal like that, or you just like
I had to
shadow
know
it?
where the meat came from,
Oh, sure.
and if somebody asked like if
Damn,
like
I love
a
that.
rich person, it was in Park Slope.
Oh,
So it would always be
sure.
kind of a fussy woman being like,
course.
I don't know how to do.
You could have lied to her.
Yeah, I said, I don't know, just put it in the fridge.
Yeah. Just tell her completely wrong
Yeah.
directions.
Yeah,
Cool.
but yeah, you'd have to like learn how to cook meat.
How long were you there?
About a year.
Not enough time to really get any knowledge.
No, but I got a lot of free meat.
Free meat?
And then I'm dropping a dry aged steak on the floor on accident, and I go, oops,
Whoopsie.
I gotta take this home.
That's $24.95 a pound.
That's $24.95 per pound.
Last I checked.
That crusty meat.
Oh, I love that shit.
It's so good.
Tastes nutty.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I'm trying to get into dry aging. I've talked about how I want to like work for 5 years and then just abscond somewhere and grill and just become a meat guy. Like opening up a restaurant with a little butcher's shop attached. That's the dream.
What would you call
Fat
it?
Stavs.
What'd you get?
Fat Stavs.
Fat Stavs.
Fat Stavs Oinkster. I'm gonna try and get. I'm gonna buy the Oinkster name. But yeah, I don't know.
Where was Oinkster?
Oyster was in Eagle Rock.
In California.
LA.
In LA. That's right.
Maybe I think Fat Stavs meats and seafood maybe.
How about oinker? I'm so bad at riffing. It sucks.
I don't know. I think I talked about this on Soder's podcast. I think we had a different name for it, but I also was thinking I would consider maybe doing a dessert restaurant
Oh, cool.
after my mom, call it Lil V's,
That's nice.
because she makes a real nice cookie.
That's really nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's a great.
What's her cookie of? What's her?
It's called the Melo
prime
Macarono,
jewel?
and it's like a Greek olive oil orange peel. Yeah,
that
it
sounds
is vegan.
so
It's technically
good.
vegan.
Oh, interesting.
As long as if you give a fuck about bees, I guess it's not. But vegans, suck my dick if you care about bees. What are we doing? They're fucking bugs, for Christ's sake. But everything else, it's olive oil. It's fucking, you know what I mean? That's not an animal. I really believe that.
They're bugs, for Christ's
They're fucking
First of
bugs.
Grandpa.
Yeah.
Like you could use like apple honey or whatever. But yeah, it's a vegan cookie.
apple honey.
Have you seen this
what's
thing
apple
that you
honey?
can
It's
use?
just a bullshit thing.
I keep getting
Like
this.
pectin. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
so-
Like a
something like
nectar.
that.
I was just gonna say I keep getting this ad on my Instagram for a thing that you can help bees when you see a bee struggling on the street.
What?
There's a little device that you can give a kid drink out of.
Oh, really? Oh, I like that. Hey, listen,
sweet.
I'm not a monster. I'll help a bee. But I'm saying let him make honey for us.
Yeah.
Does it hurt him to make honey?
Wow, it's like a big
The
syringe. or
bee
something.
revival
Oh,
keychain.
that's pretty cool.
It's like what's that shit that they give you now? Narcan. It's like
Oh,
Narcan for bees.
That's really sweet.
That's a bee that got into some fentanyl.
Yeah.
I love an olive oil dessert.
Me too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right.
Well, during the holidays, we'll get you a nice batch of
Miss
Lil
V
V's Mellow Macarono.
out of the side of Fat Stavs.
Right on the side of Fat
Deli
Stavs.
Would it be
Grill.
Fat Stavs Premium Meats and Seafood. I'm
Nice.
workshopping it. Fat Stavs Premium
Fat
Meats.
Stav's premium meat.
Meats and Delights of the
Deli.
Sea, maybe?
Delicatessen.
Yeah. Fat Stavs
Yeah.
Delights of Land and Sea. No, I need premium meat.
Wait.
Fat
There's a
Stav's
lot of-
Delights
there's
is
a lot going on
actually
here.
a
Best
great.
of delights.
Fat Stav's Delights is
Delights.
actually a great.
Fruit
Yeah.
of the sea.
Fat Stav's
Fat
Delights of the
Stav's.
Land and Fruit of the Sea.
Delights of the land. Yeah, that really rolls off the tongue.
One long sign that kind of goes
But
around.
it would be good. It would be good.
Where would that be?
Probably East Baltimore Southeast Baltimore.
Okay.
You know?
You're gonna have the little. What do you call these?
Greek
Curlies?
key.
What are they
The
called?
Greek key.
The Greek key.
Mm-hmm.
The Greek key.
Curly
That's
keys.
right. That's right.
So Greek pubes. Look
Yeah.
like.
That's exactly what my pubes look like. Settle down, elders.
Ow! Ow!
They
They're
hurt.
pointy.
They hurt big time. But yeah, so that's what I was. So yeah, it's interesting because you do feel like you would not like everything about you says that you were a vegan at least for some point in time.
think?
Yeah, are you kidding me?
Just because I got short hair.
Short hair.
Short hair and like
Short hair, the
cutie tattoos.
These types of cute tattoos.
Yeah, you know, but I'm Filipino. It's like we
True.
live on Fat Stav's pork hog.
That's true.
We're smothering.
Did you guys ever do like a pig roast?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I did that at my wedding too.
Fuck yeah.
And my aunt, I told my aunt I wanted a big pig, and she's like, "That's gonna freak people out." I'm like, "This is
my
my
wedding.
ethnicity."
Yeah.
A dead pig freaking people out.
Yeah, of course, and it's cool. We do a whole lamb on Easter.
It's so good.
I'm pissed because I'm gonna be in LA on Easter, and I wanted to host Easter for the first time and cook a whole big ass lamb myself next year.
On a spit?
Outside on the.
Not on the balcony. It would probably be in Baltimore,
Right.
where I have access to a nice backyard.
I've always wanted to bury something and cook it.
Yeah. Oh, there's a type of lamb called kleftico, which means like the bandit's lamb.
Cool.
And it's like you bury it and smoke it underground because if you would smoke it, the Turks would find you. They would see the fucking smoke.
Those pesky Turks.
Those fucking Turks, don't get me started. I want nothing to do with them. But yeah, that's a good ass lamb. It's kind of smoked, kind of like a barbecue situation.
Meat. I want to give it up.
You do want to.
Do you eat meat?
Well, yeah, but I grew up with vegetarian parents, so I was vegan in college. Actually,
Oh yeah, another thing that coffee shop vegan in college. Check.
Yeah.
all that's pay.
Are you bisexual?
No, I just present as one.
Yeah, actually, I don't see that as much.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, when I was still in DC, I had like a buzz cut for a while, and I kept getting booked on queer shows. But, I think I just wanted a black person.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It pays to be black.
Don't get me started.
Best card to pull.
I think I assumed bisexual because of nose.
Yeah.
Like,
So yeah. And I have a little guy in, but I've had bigger ones than that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Is that bi? Is that?
I don't know.
Someone.
I just assume everyone's bi.
That's true.
I
did.
Yeah, sure.
I assumed
Yeah.
every girl was bi. For
Now they are.
like, huh?
I feel like now they are.
I think they are, but then that's gotten me. I just like I've been dating.
Gotten you in trouble.
It's gotten me in trouble. It's gotten me in some serious trouble. When I dated somebody who was like, I was dating somebody, and I just assumed everyone who was young, every girl younger than me, was like wanted to be a bi. Like she like moved to New York. I was like, oh, this person wants to just go off, suck dick, eat pussy. She doesn't want to date me. And then she was like, she did, and I just was confused because I was like, no, you're a hot 20-something. Everyone's bi and sucking each other off. I didn't think you'd want to.
So you're going in and going, this will be easy peasy.
I'll be like, in and out, get a little freaky pussy, and I wash my hands of it, kind of thing. We can be friends. Maybe she's in an open thing, you know. Right. I like to be in the outer circle of an open relationship where it's no emotional thing. I pop in, I get my dick sucked, I pop out. You know, maybe once I have, pop in and out. It's great.
It's nice because you're like the forbidden fruit, but it's not even forbidden.
Thank you.
It's like within the parameters.
It's low hanging.
It's a nice, juicy piece of fruit.
It's a grapefruit that
it's swelling.
Really should have fallen.
It's like, how is this rotting, but it's on the branch still?
You can tell it's dry inside, dude.
It's sweet, but it's too sweet. It's that sickly sweet shit.
Are you a little gay?
I guess I would get my dick sucked by a cute guy that looks like a woman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I guess I would go that far.
Cool.
Haven't done it yet, but it's the more I fuck people, I'm like, who cares at this point?
It's kind of like, who cares at this point?
Who cares is really the thing where I'm like, I haven't, but
End of the world.
somebody pops up.
You gotta go for whatever.
Somebody pops up and the vibes are right. I've told this story before where one time at a show, there was some little blonde guy who was like he was a real gay guy, and he had like even like makeup on, like a little bit of fucking blush or some shit. And he just reminded me of a girl I knew in Baltimore. Like, you know when you meet someone, you're like, this reminds me of, and I was like, well, and I had another spot, but he was clearly trying to suck me off.
Yeah.
But if I did have another spot, sometimes I think like, what if I just canceled that spot and gotten head from that guy in my Corolla? You know, like
That would have been awesome.
that would have been cool.
Yeah.
I'm not against it if that guy's around still,
really cute.
and you've kept it tight. This was 8 years ago, but let me know.
Corolla Dome.
But I don't know.
Maybe he'll come out of the woodwork.
Oh, 100%.
You're gay. You're
Corolla
pretty
Dome?
much half and half, right? You're pretty much right down the middle.
I mean, I don't know. The older I get, the more I'm like, I don't even want to put numbers on it.
Right.
I wouldn't bet on it.
Right. Who knows?
Who knows?
How the mood strikes you.
It's how the mood strikes me.
Yeah.
But it's, it's nice to have options.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is there a part, because we were kind of talking about it, before we started, where it's like the older you get, the more you're just like, fuck, am I just becoming a regular ass person? Where it's like, I'm just a normal person. So like for you, where it's like, I know even if you're in like a poly relationship, at some point, does it feel weird to just be like, damn, I'm just like a lot of my life, I'm essentially a straight married woman.
100%.
Does that feel weird?
Married.
Yeah.
The fact that I even made it to 34. The fact that I have it's so crazy. Also, quitting drinking and being on a Mediterranean diet.
Oh, how blue! My bitch is in the blue zone.
Yeah. I'm trying to live to 150 and do calisthenics with old Asian ladies.
Nice in the park.
Back to your Filipino roots. Hey, they give you pork. They give you calisthenics at 70.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You get them both.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I've totally forgot what we were talking
That's okay.
about. But I do feel like I'm just kind of becoming a straight-laced person.
Yeah.
But then I was talking to someone recently about being a bi girl and dating men, and someone was like, maybe it's like our kink is fucking guys.
Relax. You're fucking half straight.
Well,
I hate to break it to you.
If you think about it,
You're a fucking, you pay your taxes, you married a man. Okay? It's done. You're not a child drug addict anymore. It's over.
Oh, man, I even voted, dude.
You voted for Biden. It's over.
I just think it's funny, if dating men is my kink.
God damn, dude. Bi women are hilarious. The mental gymnastics to be different is so awesome. It's like, and listen, I'll give you a little bit, especially white bi women. It's like, all right, a white bi woman married to a man. Yep, you're a fucking minority. That's
No.
But you know what I mean? It's
I know.
the mental gymnastics to be like, well, I'm not a regular married white woman. I've got something else going on. It's like,
No,
it's
actually fucked up.
Yeah,
that
it's
I do
fucked
this.
up of me. I just it's the same as getting shit on or being tied up and fucked upside down as me having sex
Having
with a man.
missionary sex with a white
with a man I love that I own property with.
A straight
my
kink.
kink.
Man.
That's awesome.
Anyway.
That's cool. But you must, because I guess I vaguely am familiar. I'm just assuming that you were a wild ass little kid, or teen, or in your 20s.
I did a lot of stuff, for sure, and I had a lot of sex before I was allowed to.
Right.
Under the eyes of the law.
I thought you were gonna say Lord.
Or
Or the Lord, yep.
But
well,
I never really
kids
did
are allowed
drugs
to
or
fuck
nothing.
each other, aren't they?
I think they're allowed to fuck each other.
Yeah.
Last time I checked.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You said under the law.
Google can kids fuck
Don't
each
do it
other?
on my Wi-Fi. I don't need that kind of heat. No one's gonna look at this room and be like, it was that lady that Googled that.
Who can kids legally fuck?
Do not Google that in my on my Wi-Fi.
Were you effing and essing in high school?
No.
I feel like you were a good student.
I don't know if I was a particularly good student. I was quiet and obedient, and I really liked the subjects that I liked, but I don't think I was by any means a star student, but
But you also you were in Japan though, right?
Yeah,
because it's impossible to be a star student. Everyone's they're ashamed.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's you're not perfect. You didn't bow deep enough to the emperor. So
yeah. It's what's that word?
Sisyphean. Yeah.
He's one of your guys.
Yeah.
He's one of your guys.
Yep.
Right. Well,
basically what I'm saying is I assume it's much more. If you were in America, you would have been this valedictorian of your school.
We moved when I was in 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like the thing is that's when a lot of kids were becoming rebellious naturally. But I was pretty emotionally attached to my parents because it was such a tough time to move, like in the middle of 9th grade.
Holy fuck.
And I was really lonely and shy. And we went to
no
public
friends?
high school. No, not at first.
Damn. But not
I've
even the
made
weird
them.
anime kids? You come from Japan?
There are weird anime kids that, but
Fetishized you
It's on
weirdly?
surface.
Yeah.
I don't know if I was really aware of all that at the age of 14, but I don't. So then I made good friends, like really great close friends through theater ultimately, and then beyond. But then, so I'm still like close to my group of girlfriends from that time, but we did not F&S. Towards the end of high school, some friends, even in middle school in Japan, some of my friends were effing, were other effing.
Fingering. You can. I think you can say. I
Fingering.
think you can say fingering.
They're fingering each other. Oh yeah,
In each other.
children can do that to each other.
Well, let's look it up.
No, Claire, put your phone away.
Stop
Googling stuff about kids fucking each other.
Can kids finger each other in Japan?
Cartoon style.
Okay, now maybe it's an octopus doing it to one of the kids.
Right.
That's interesting because I also just everything you hear about Japan now, anyways, that no one fucks there. That it's like that there's like a weird negative sex
I
thing
see,
happening of like
right.
everyone's overworked and like.
I have a lot of thoughts about this.
Oh, hit us with them.
Kiss the mic.
Give it a smooch the mic. Don't suck it off.
The foam.
Do not suck it off.
Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts. So on one hand, it's like there's a lot of conflicting things about sexuality, I think, in modern Japanese culture.
Okay.
For example, obviously, there's a lot of like erotic art and whatever that's older.
Sure. Oh yeah, like
And yeah,
the thing
like
on the
the
beach, the
octopus
lady
and-
sucking
Yeah.
octopus sucking the lady's
that
pussy
spanned
on
like
the
a
beach.
century, I feel like, more.
Yeah.
I'm sure older. But the point is like then, or like in the 20s in Japan, and that was big because that's when Japan was like becoming more westernized. There's a lot of like erotic art from that era as well. And now, I don't know. I think it's a combination of it. It's still a pretty socially repressed society. So it's not, so on one hand, sexuality is not openly like discussed. It's not like that tactile of a culture, which also makes it so that the way that sexuality is presented is like kind of wild. Like that's the tentacle stuff.
Yeah.
Or there are a lot of sexual services that are pretty out, like widely available,
Yeah.
you know, like.
No, I went to Tokyo and I was like, there's just guys in suits getting off the train and going to like it's like it looks like a Toys R Us, but it's like it's like hentai. And they're just like going to go sit at a jack off booth.
Totally.
To jack off and then go have like, soup.
Soup.
It's like
Truly.
They gotta get
Have a late night
Giuliani in
moment
there
after
clean it up.
Yeah, it's like,
Absolutely.
like going under a bench where women are sitting on it. Like they have all these things that are available.
Yeah.
And they're making money, right? I
The
don't
way
know
they
how
have
it
anti-homeless benches here, they have look at ladies' pussy benches in Japan.
And like so at least in
Things
Tokyo,
like a mechanic gets under when he's working on a fucking car. You pay a yen to get on one of those.
yeah, I think all of that stuff is a result of like, I don't know, Japan navigating how it is about like the on one hand the body in Japan is not sexualized, on the other hand it's like hypersexualized, and I think that now as people are overworked and because of like the work environment, they are probably having kids and marrying later, and like now I don't know, and also now I think because people have access to like figurines services,
robots that suck your dick.
It's like you can kind of become insular. Absolutely.
Yeah, for real. I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, totally.
Japan's getting that first.
Yeah, Japan has been 20 years ahead of the U.S.
Yeah,
probably for at least a century. So
Self-suck.
So self-sucking is maybe in the next few years. So I think it's like there's a lot at play, but I feel like.
But it wasn't like a horny society when you were over there.
Sure, it was.
It was, but that's what I'm saying. Like
I'm not 300 years old.
But I'm saying like the kids. To me, I was like, damn. I get Japanese kids wouldn't fuck. I don't know that because no one fucks. I'm like, well, Japanese kids probably don't fuck either.
No, I think they fuck.
Okay.
Honestly,
Rescinded.
I don't think there's like.
You're right. It makes
language.
sense.
I don't think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, American culture is pretty Puritan.
For
right?
sure.
100%.
but we like.
That's a good point.
Maybe it's like
everyone fucks like in a car or like it is. It's not like I do feel like Europeans. It is not frowned upon at all. It's an outwardly horny society.
That's
Yeah,
why they came to America to be virgins.
Yeah, that's true.
To be weird.
Yeah,
That's why
yeah.
America exists, is because virgin Europeans wanted to go somewhere to be weird.
Yeah, it is the fucking biggest losers with their little fucked up hats. Everyone's sucking and fucking.
Fucked up, tall little hats with the belts on it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah. Imagine rather being on a boat for 7 months than getting your dick sucked. Could not be me.
Yeah.
Because I always was jealous of my Greek cousins and shit, because it was like, they were like smoking and fucking, and they were like 14, and I was like, I'm getting no pussy whatsoever. I'm scared to do drugs, And then I was like, this sucks.
that's the American dream, right?
I wanted
you're scared you're not getting pussy.
Exactly. It sucked. So that's why I was just like, I just assumed Japan was like the flip of like because Greece is a outwardly horny society. Italy, like all that Eastern European shit. I don't know what Albania was like. You could trade probably a ride up the hill on your donkey for a hand job.
When you turn 7 years old, your uncle takes you to a whorehouse.
You get to pick which one.
You pick which Ukrainian chained to a radiator you fuck for 7 minutes. And it's like, good choice, Aldis. Very good. That strong one. All her teeth still in mouth. And then you give her a fresh radish and she eats it.
That's the tip. After you pay the two equivalent of $1.50 US dollars.
Oh, goddamn.
I think Greece and Italy.
Yeah, let's get it. Now you got Italy thoughts too.
Let's get into it.
You got Italy
They're
thoughts
like,
too.
It's like tactile. Like everybody's touching each other.
Yeah,
There's a lot of language
Sure.
about. It's like amorous. Yeah.
Yeah, talking with your hands. A lot of kissing on the cheek. Everyone's kissing each other on the cheeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Japan is so not a touchy tactile society.
But you were like, did you grow up in like were you going to like an American school? You were, right?
Yeah, good question. So after,
because give us a little bit of your family background, because it is kind of interesting.
Oh, sure. Okay.
How you even got to Japan?
What's my downstairs mix up? Sure. Yeah. What's my situation? So like,
okay, who was your mom and dad? Let's start there, and then Claire will ask.
Easy.
Yeah.
I just got a lobotomy.
Would your parents grow up in Japan? Both of them?
No. My dad is from Philadelphia.
Straight from Philly. Black guy from Philly.
My mom.
Oh, interesting. Fully black guy from Philly.
Yeah.
Because he just looks a little Asian to me too.
I know, people often think he's Egyptian.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not. I don't know. That's my knowledge.
That's not Asian either, by the way. That's North African.
No, but it's like the point is like something
else is going on.
But no, he's just
interesting.
angular,
kind
of quiet, light skinned black man from Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
But my mom is half black, and like my grandfather was from Southern Maryland, like black man, Catholic Southern Maryland guy who got stationed in Yokohama in 1945 because there was a little war going on.
Yeah.
And he stayed there, and he married my grandmother. And then, so my mom and her two sisters were all born and raised in Japan.
Gotcha.
And then my grandma.
I'm going to guess 50s Japan was really cool to half black
Oh,
kids.
yeah, I know.
I'm going to guess they were real chill.
Right.
It was real fun to be
no, difficult sentiment at all. So, but the cool thing is that I guess like my grandmother or my great grandmother, who
the Japanese one?
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone's Japanese, but you know what I mean.
She and my middle name is named after her. I never met her because she like died right before I was born. But she apparently was like cool with her daughter marrying this black man from Southern Maryland. So anyway,
nice.
Then the funny thing is that my grandfather stayed in Japan for a long time. When my mom was a teenager, they got divorced. And he married another Japanese woman.
Whoa!
He had a type.
My man had developed a taste. He wasn't coming back to Charles County. He wasn't coming back to fucking.
No.
He wasn't going to Waldorf after that. He was staying in Yokohama.
So that's why I have a grandma Chia. I had a grandma Chia and a grandma Midori, and grew up with two Japanese grandmas.
Nice.
And then eventually my grandfather did move back to Annapolis with the one.
Oh, he did.
Eventually,
Oh, wow.
And then my like OG,
How long
my
was
blood.
he in Japan?
a long time. Like he was like
That's fucking
there are
weird.
pictures where it's like he was the only black man on some like board of something because he was really involved with like he was like whatever. Like he was involved in foreign affairs organizations there.
Gotcha.
And he was like it was like him. And
Was he still in the army, or he was out?
He might have been out at that point. Actually, I don't know.
Interesting.
But there's a lot of
So he just stayed in Japan for like 40 years, then moved back to Annapolis as an old
raised
ass
daughters.
dude.
Right.
Wow.
To like adult, and the idea was that each of the daughters, so we were all born and raised in Japan, had to go to college in the U.S. So my mom met my dad in college in Philadelphia.
Which college?
My mom went to Bryn Mawr College, which
Okay.
is like women's college, and then at the time,
Your
my
dad
went
went to an all like girls
yeah, and then
college.
he went. My dad went to.
Your dad went to
he
all
was
those-
the pioneer.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He went to Haverford, which at the time was all boys.
Gotcha.
And then they met
at a mixer, had an old fashioned.
Yeah, they
mixer.
met at a film lecture. That was their first day was a film lecture or something.
Oh, that's
And
cute.
exactly. They had like mixers apparently, and
Damn.
then my dad.
What a refined
dropped out,
ass
went to art
little
school.
story.
Yeah. So I guess like when
Literally, my parents met because like my dad's friend was dating a lady, and my mom was her friend. And he was like, it was essentially like, dude, you should try and fuck my friends. You should try and fuck my
kinda how my
friends.
parents got together.
Really?
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And my dad was like, yeah, nice. And here we are. They had a good relationship for maybe 10 years, and then they were stuck it out another 40 after that. And anyway,
nice.
that's cute though. Film lecture.
Yeah. So then
And that's how you're made.
yeah, that's how I made.
That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
Like what happened? Oh, I guess they got married. My mom at the time had gone to Stanford for MBA, so she was trying to like work
Damn,
in
business
finance.
bitch.
Yeah, business bitch all my life. So she's like, okay, well, I'm going to move back to Japan for a job, so you can come. And so my dad was this like, I don't know, random black guy in the 80s in Tokyo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, you have there's a lineage of two just random black dudes from the mid-Atlantic
Yeah.
living in Japan for pussy. That's fucking cool.
Or love.
Yeah, love, whatever.
To an extent.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's true. That's cute. That's adorable.
That's a lovely
Oh, so you
story.
have that is really nice. I didn't realize it was two separate. Just bringing back two different black guys into Japan.
Yeah.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
and
cool.
here I am,
And then
I
they
guess.
just stuck around. And
They stuck
they were
around.
like-
So they stuck around. So yeah, so that's why I was there because my sister and I were both born there. Yeah, and we'd seen my grandma a lot when she was living, and then we moved around a little. We were like in Singapore. This was all for my mom's job.
Oh, Singapore.
For fourth to sixth
Yeah, did she
grade.
do something evil?
I'm sure. Yeah, she had a corner office. Yeah. She was
moving
like,
around,
shoulder pad
moving
lady.
around Asia,
Yeah.
like in the '90s, feels like
Singapore.
yeah.
Yeah.
It feels like she was going to like every time a country changed their workers' rights laws, your mom got a new
Right,
job,
right.
went to a new fucking country. It's like
Right, and that's how we got to go to Bali for
Yeah.
vacation. Actually, my mom has now talked to me more about like experience of being a business lady in Japan, especially in the early '90s too. Like she would have to go she would go out with colleagues after, right, who were essentially like white or Japanese men, and
Right.
then they would go to the strip clubs and stuff and drink like in their
Yeah.
business attire. So my mom had this whole life that I didn't
That's
understand
awesome.
at
Your
all.
mom's like,
But I-
yeah, I had to also get something from the panty vending
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah.
I didn't want to look like a fucking loser.
Right. It's all for the company. The company.
You could expense it. It was fine,
Yeah.
but
Just gave it away to some guy on the street.
right.
Someone who really needed
that's
it.
awesome. I love that
Yeah.
because is your mom like again? Literally, I only know your parents
through
through fleeting Instagram
Yeah,
stories.
right.
Well, I'll catch her. She'll be in like the corner, but I feel like she's
Yeah.
like a small
She's
lady.
very small.
too.
She's super petite.
That's
She's
so funny
small.
to have just like a little like lady in shoulder pads at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
strip club
Yeah,
with all
heel,
these
little heels.
animals.
Yeah.
Because you get Japanese people get so fucked up. They get so
It has
drunk.
toxic drinking culture.
It's crazy. So it's
Yeah.
like I just like crazy to imagine this lady with two little kids at home,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
hanging out, like probably
she's
getting a little drunk, but you
So
know.
like decorum. My mom is like so about saving face, and she's like very formal.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of melting away as because she's like 70 now, so she's like kind of turning into like something more.
letting her hair down.
Yeah,
a
letting
little
her
bit.
down
It's
literally.
loose.
She's like doing a lot of yoga, Yeah,
Nice.
but
Loose.
I don't know. It's just so weird for me to.
Real.
But yeah,
That's awesome.
that's why I'm here.
I would have
That's how
loved.
I'm here.
That's so fun to think
cool.
about. Yeah. Think about that's my rice. Speaking of Japan, my
can smell
Japanese
it.
rice cooker.
See, is it Japanese rice
This
cooker?
is jirushi.
Yeah, that's the best. I was gonna ask you for the readers at home.
The neurofuzzy.
Yes, and before the podcast started, Stav was talking about making rice, but I'm curious, like what grain? What kind of grain?
What kind of grain?
rice?
Short?
I'm a long grain guy. I like a basmati. I like what's the others? Jasmine.
I think I
Some
can
jasmine.
smell that it's long grain.
It is. It's basmati. But I've been on a jasmine kick. I went for the first
Fragrant.
time. I bought when you go to Costco and they have like an elephant feed bag of rice.
Yeah.
And I just bought it and I've been working my way through it. I eat
That's the
rice
way to
every
do
day.
it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been doing that. It's awesome. So all I had was this bag here today. I fucked up my planning. I was gonna have a nice big. I was telling Claire, this is great stuff for the pod. I was gonna have a nice big salmon lunch, but I dropped my phone on a city bike. I had to go back and find it.
What? It was on the street? That was all today?
That was all today.
Wow,
I
you
was-
really went through like
it was-
several lifetimes.
I did. I worked out.
I saw him eat some eggs.
I had to, so I didn't have time for my
Oh.
salmon lunch, so I had to eat 3 hard-boiled eggs and a sausage.
What kind? Oh, boiled it.
Yeah, soft boil, right in the
Soft
middle,
jammy
jammy.
Jammy, that's good.
I'm
Do
legit-
you have a
That's the best
favorite
way.
egg?
7 minutes 40 seconds, folks. That's
Oh, yeah,
how long
yeah,
you want
yeah.
to do it for.
I like
Over easy.
I like jelly, like a little bit coagulated.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh,
That's what we're talking about.
okay. Right,
Yep.
no
Jelly.
leakage.
No
No
leakage.
leak. Just before there's going to be.
Squish.
Just after
No leakage
leakage.
on the end.
You got it. 7 minutes 40 seconds, folks. That's the kind of hashtag. The Stavvy's egg challenge. Show us your jammy eggs. Let's get it trending worldwide.
Hashtag no leakage.
No leakage.
Do you like
membrane.
salt them?
In the thing or afterwards?
No. I mean,
Yeah, cut them in half. Sprinkle
when
a
you
little
eat them.
salt.
You're
Yeah,
a pickle?
I'm just curious.
Pickle an egg?
I'll
No.
pickle.
Did your freaky ass ever pickle an egg?
I'm not a pickled egg guy, but I'll do I'll do
try
some
it.
more Japanese shit of like the ramen eggs.
Those are
Oh, those are so good.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
Yeah,
I'll make those too.
yeah. It's good shit.
So good.
What about you? How about your family? Did they go to Japan? Were they?
My mom was born in the Philippines, and then
Nice.
she moved to San Jose.
The Yay area.
Yeah, 408. And then, she grew up. My dad was born in San Jose.
Nice,
They got together. She was a kindergarten teacher
nice.
for like 30 years.
Damn, that's cool.
And my dad was a film commissioner for San Jose,
Film commissioner.
which is the person who, like, when a location scout for a movie comes to your city and they're like, where we find a house where, I don't know, Flubber would live. And then my dad would be like, this house, and that's how Flubber was filmed
Wow.
in my neighborhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? You weren't just making up Flubber as a funny example.
I would never.
I saw Flubber in theaters.
I saw
Yeah,
Flubber in
yeah,
theaters.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he did
His whole
that.
job was knowing where houses in San Jose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or going like, if you want to, you have a farm you want to film something at. My dad knew all the locations.
That's sick.
And then at some point he lost that job for reasons I don't fully
Okay.
understand.
I mean, it's crazy he had it for more than like 5 years. That's not a real.
it's
Doesn't feel like a
crazy.
real job.
For like a not, San Jose's a big city.
Yeah.
And it's got all these different places.
But it doesn't
to
feel
shoot
like-
things, but
Like, I don't feel like I would have ever thought they shoot enough stuff to have a guy whose job is to tell you where to get. It's not L.A. It's not like
no, and
Atlanta.
I think eventually that
Yeah,
they realized
yeah.
that it was kind of a waste of the city's hard-earned money.
The gravy train ran out.
But also, he was a part owner of a small chain of independent movie theaters.
Oh, sick.
So I got to see movies for free all the
Fuck,
time,
that's
which I
awesome.
fully took for granted.
Yeah, you didn't realize
up
what you
until
had.
today. Yeah.
What about popcorn? You get free popcorn?
I eat popcorn so it's crazy how fast I can eat popcorn.
I love it. Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Did you have access to the machine as a child, though?
I didn't have access to the machine. I even applied for this job at the movie theater and I didn't even get it.
Wow, your dad owned it?
Yeah,
You're the
he
shittiest
pulled it.
Nepo baby there ever was.
They're
You
like-
wanted a minimum wage job and your dad couldn't swing it?
They didn't even want me to just stand there, which is all you
Damn.
really have to do. So I just grew up with that. Now they're both dead.
Damn.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Fuck, it's not my fault.
Yeah, you're right.
Except one of them.
Might be.
One of them was.
You have to guess which one.
Yeah. You'll never know.
Who was squished to death in Baltimore?
How do you say? How did that happen? What were you even implying? That I fell on them?
Well, from a high place.
I'm not made of flubber. I would suffer injuries as well.
Not made of flubber.
I wish I was. I'd be able to dunk.
Cool.
I remember that scene, the basketball
bounces
scene.
around.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when he goes in the guy's body. That was as a kid. Remember that?
There was a
Bounce around
lot
his
of
body?
content for kids about things going inside bodies.
Yeah.
Osmosis Jones.
Oh,
Flubber. Magic School Bus.
Everybody's going.
Everyone's going in the body. No
Like
one's
through the colon. No one's coming out. Wait, what do you mean?
no one's coming out any of the holes though.
I think they came out of your nose or your mouth usually. Or
It's
Like
like
ears or something silly.
No one's coming out of pussies. Or buttholes.
They
Flubber-
should have.
Flubber
You think
coming
Fl-
out.
You think Flubber should have come out of Robin Williams' ass?
Yes.
Tickled his prostate on the way out. It's bouncing up. It's bouncing on his prostate
That
and
might
asshole.
be the scene.
He jizzes Flubber.
Yeah,
They
right?
tickle his
think
prostate
that's
for a
the
way
bad
out. They give him the Stifler in Road Trip treatment. The Flubber fingers his asshole so that he jizzes out Flubber and they can escape.
It would have been informational at least. Because you grow up and you're like, you don't even think about your asshole and your
don't.
pee hole.
No.
And then all of a sudden, that's all you think about.
Right.
It's like, how do you start thinking
All of a sudden you can't get asshole off the brain.
like, you know how like there's material for talking about sperm to kids, like about how life works. It's like Flubber could could demonstrate. It could set you
Flubber
up for
could
thinking about it
demonstrate it.
logistically.
You must have, because didn't you
He
work
was
with a bunch of
viscous.
little ass?
Me?
You worked with
Yeah.
like rich kids too,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you must have had access
lot
to
of them.
weird little
Absolutely.
books.
And I remember exactly because especially if, for example, if somebody, there was this moment. This was in the school I worked at in Brooklyn. So it was 4-year-olds, 3 and 4-year-olds. So the 4-year-old. One kid, he had 2 moms, or he has still, so he has 2 moms. And
Oh yeah, I didn't get to them yet.
No, and so
I
then
didn't kill his parents yet. None of his moms were squished in Baltimore yet. So this kid and his gay
what
moms.
did he say? He said sperm. He said, oh shit. He was like sperm. I know the story. Okay, so a girl had a little brother that was born. So she announced it has a penis. I don't know if I should say the child's name on here, but has a penis. And then my co-teacher said, well, yeah, some bodies have penises, some bodies have vulvas. And then the kid with 2 moms chimed in really seriously. And some bodies have sperm. And it's because I realized he has a lot of books about sperm because he has 2 moms. So they're probably like,
yeah,
he's like,
they're
my
jealous.
sperm.
Yeah.
My dad is just one sperm of a guy in a magazine.
With so much reverence.
Yeah.
That's a sperm with a mustache.
I wonder how you handle that with a little. I guess he knew. Like, what is a kid that?
I don't know because
Yeah.
I didn't, and I had never. That's the big relief. Like kids are insane and really funny and very curious about the body. Like so many, but they kind of don't get it when they're young enough. They don't quite. Their curiosity isn't piqued so far that they're kind of like, okay, well, sperm just comes out of the body, but they're not really thinking about it.
Yeah.
I really don't think.
I remember the one thing that I took away from like a sex ed when I was in elementary school was like, yeah, sometimes you pee white stuff and babies come out.
Right.
Like that's
like
that's what
logic.
I thought. Yeah, and I was telling my mom one time, I was like, so I don't know if you know this, like, but sometimes you pee out white stuff. Mom's like, who taught you? She's like, my mom is so open minded about everything, but then from that day on, she signed a permission slip where I was not allowed to go to sex ed.
Really?
It was so weird because my mom is not like that at all. She's not like. She's a super like liberal whatever, and it was just she didn't want me hearing about it from I guess my shitty Baltimore City public school
strange.
teachers.
Yeah.
But it's not like anybody at home taught me. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Maybe I also think maybe she just got kind of like,
Maybe she thought that's what they told you was that
Right.
they peed. And they're like, they're not teaching you right.
Right.
Maybe.
And then she goes, let me show you how to do it.
Yeah. Here's a video. There you will find in the entertainment center a video labeled Barney. It is your father's pornography, which is true. He had made a video he titled Barney, and me and my brothers found it, and it was a spoof porno of Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Whoa.
It was called Loose Times at Ridgely High, I believe. And yeah, that's a great video. Look that up, Eldest. Loose Times at Ridgely High.
I think we tried on another.
Oh yeah, we did it when
episode.
my brothers came on. We actually talked about it.
When my dad died, I had to clean out his stuff,
shit.
and of course, he's an older guy, and so he had physical porn.
And he's a film connoisseur.
Yeah,
So he's got a good
magazine?
library.
Or like magazine, and then like also DVDs.
Oh,
But
right.
He
didn't
made
have a
the jump
lot.
to DVD.
He didn't have a lot, but he had one DVD, and it was BBW.
Hell yeah,
Interesting.
respect.
Yeah.
Respect. Your father was an ally of the community. Now I regret what I did to him.
Oh yeah, you squished him.
Wow, I probably made him come. I didn't know he was into BBW stuff.
No.
Damn, BBW, salute. I do remember one time, I never got into DVD. Was the like VHS was like just around from like dads or older, friends, older brothers.
Right.
And then DVD was like, we were just in that age where it was like, I'm too young to buy. And then by the time you're old enough, it's like, well, internet porn exists.
Yeah, there wasn't much of a time.
It had a real short window.
Yeah.
But I remember one time, this fucking piece, I'm still mad at this kid, actually a fat Filipino kid. This
Respect.
somebody in our CAD. I went to like a science school, even though I shouldn't have. I should have gone. I know. I mean, I failed at all those classes. But I went to like a school where you could have gone to like done a lot of engineering stuff. So I had to take like AutoCAD, which is, I don't know. I still don't know because
CAD? I'm
CAD.
hung up on this.
CAD. It's
CAD?
like computer something
Oh,
design.
I see.
It's like engineering software. Like they make, furniture or whatever the fuck with it.
Oh.
Carry on.
Furniture, or like they even put out. Look up what CAD stands for. But it turned out, by the way, this guy was computer aided design. There you go. The guy who taught it was like just a nice old army guy who was like, it was like his public service was teaching at a public school.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you could cheat so easily. So I just I never learned anything. We took a thumb drive and it was so easy. I just took somebody else's thing.
Yeah.
So I didn't learn anything about CAD, but someone left a Vivid porno, the Vivid company, a whole porn DVD in a computer, and me and this other fat piece of shit, I won't say his name, but we both saw it at the same time, and he just got to it. It was literally like a little grubby handoff to who could catch the DVD first, and he got it, and then he would come back and be like, dude, this is a really good DVD. He was like, he would taunt me because he got to jack off to the DVD that I wanted to jack off to. And it was, I still don't like him because he's a nurse now, I believe.
Been there.
Should have been me.
I used to work at a video rental store.
Oh, nice.
And we had a
That
porn
tracks
section.
Claire in a cool
That
way.
does track for sure.
We had a porn section upstairs. And that's
Ooh.
also where the microwave was. So if I ever wanted to.
Well, yeah, you gotta
my
heat up your
lunch-
pocket pussy. You don't want an ice cold pocket pussy at lunch.
Oven mitts. But I remember that was the year that the big Pirates of the Caribbean porno.
I remember that. We watched. Remember that,
interesting.
Eldest?
It was like the
I wanna
most
see that.
expensive or most
Like high production porn.
high production
It was-
porn ever made at that point.
The-
And
our
that was a big deal.
Our friend's girlfriend, our buddy's girlfriend, or maybe her friends, I don't know. We had access to some big college house, and they literally screened this porno.
Yeah.
And I remember all of us watching it. Remember that?
I think they may have even screened it at like the student union at my college.
Yeah.
That's just like
In the
really.
quad.
No, that's what it was. I think we were gonna go to that, and then we were like, we don't want to, and then we just put it on somebody's big screen or something.
Oh,
because I remember watching it
yeah.
at that house, and then being like, we're just all laughing, but it's also like, I'm getting hard Because it's like, I'm like, damn, this is hilarious. I'm like, damn, this is pretty cool.
That's an interesting boy thing. Boys
Right.
watching porn together.
Oh.
Well, this wasn't even that, though. This was like, definitely like, I remember
This is like a for
a
everybody
sleepover.
thing.
This was like what a goof. We're putting on this porno for a party. And I'm like, it's still early in college. I think I was like 18 when this is happening.
Yeah.
19, something like that. And I was just like, oh, I just actually am horny now. And I'm just like in a room full of people I don't know that well. And my dick is like half hard. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go downstairs.
Sitting on the floor.
Gonna go pee white.
Yeah. Like it would have been hard to talk to any women at all and just not horny at the, you know what I mean? Like at that party, I had no confidence, but like throw a half hard and watching Jenna Jameson getting railed and I was useless. I just like went downstairs and smoked weed until my dick didn't even, I was just so fucking high. What a fun, oh dude, college was awesome.
Yeah.
We got
What a
so
fun
much
time.
pussy. We were so cool.
Do you graduate?
I actually, I walked with a 3.9 GPA, but I need my 2 language credits.
Oh.
So still, yeah, they let me walk because you're allowed to finish. Yeah, you're allowed. If you had under a certain amount of credits, they're like, well, who on earth wouldn't get their college degree? And it's like, me, baby. My mom, all I needed was my mom to see me in that dumb little cap and gown. That's
Yeah,
literally what I
sure.
went to college for.
Yeah.
I think you made out well.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah. I still
Probably
get
better
emails.
than if you had learned 2 languages.
Yeah.
I know Greek, which is the funny part. I could have
I
taken a
bet.
test, but I just was like, who cares? But I still get emails from UMBC that's like, hey, we see that you're almost done your degree. Come on back. Part of me wants to just go back, go to school for like a semester.
20 grand.
Go to school for a semester, live in a dorm. Me and Eldest has to come too. Eldest goes to grad school.
We get kicked out again for smoking weed again.
I get kicked out for smoking weed again. I got kicked out my freshman year for smoking
Really?
weed. It was brutal.
Kick
yeah.
out of the dorms?
The dorms. I was
Really?
banned from residential. Yeah.
Provisions. Or
Yeah, it was residential life,
So,
whatever the fuck it
That's
was.
the craze for smoking weed in
2007,
college.
Wild.
baby.
Oh,
You know.
I guess generationally.
Yeah,
That feels so.
we got fucked.
Yeah, that feels nuts, doesn't it?
That feels nuts.
Yeah. Fuck them. I still carry a grudge. I know the guy who did it, and I
Really?
keep tabs on him.
Who's
Is he a fat
snitched?
Filipino?
He's not.
nurse?
He's a fat Jew, actually. Look, we take care of our own within the plus size community. I have fat enemies of every stripe.
It's like the United Nations. You know.
Fat UN.
Yeah.
Anyway, whatever.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh wait. Did you have more? I want to talk about this video store when the pirates came out.
Well, that was just like a big deal. I just
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
everybody being like,
It was. It
you
weirdly.
gotta check this out.
It weirdly was.
But I heard it wasn't really good.
It wasn't good at all.
Like not hot,
Like not sexy.
not sexy or like.
Yeah.
It was
not
kind of
good.
funny for like 5 minutes, and then you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is the most important. This is the most expensive porno, but it's still a shitty movie."
Yeah.
So it's
Oh, I
like
see.
watching like a mid tier. Like it felt like the production value of like a like 2000s Nicolas Cage movie. Remember when he was like in
Yeah.
his weird phase where he was just making movies like
Yeah.
National Treasure vibe.
Or like
yeah,
no,
but like the
knowing or no?
B sides of National
Right,
Treasure,
right,
like
right.
Bangkok
Yeah.
Dangerous,
right.
you know, like
right.
shit like that.
Yeah,
so
there we
what
go.
was it called?
Privates of the Caribbean. That's awesome,
Privates.
actually.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like a $2
Jenna
million
Jameson.
porn.
Privates of the Caribbean is great.
Was this after the first movie?
That's just
from
a
the
different
franchise came out?
porno.
Wouldn't that be funny if her tits were real?
Yeah, real, fake.
They look because they look so fake.
Oh, I see. That's a tough time to.
Gdu.com.
I guess
That's a tough time to have gotten big fake tits. Now I feel like technology has really figured that out.
Is that true?
they look more natural,
Oh,
or they
yeah.
look more.
Yeah, you get a real. Yeah, you get some real jumblers.
There's a jiggle.
Yeah, there's a real life
I see
jiggle
what
to
you're
them.
saying.
Whereas
it's like in this era, it was more stationary.
yeah,
Right.
I feel like Jenna was right in the in between. It's not the '80s bolt-ons that are like,
Yeah.
you know,
Bolt-ons.
they
Yeah,
look
yeah,
like
yeah.
Legos, like round
Do you
Legos,
think
basically.
that nipples were bigger in the past? I have a theory that nipples used to be bigger.
That's really
Interesting.
fascinating.
Because if you look at like 70s titties,
Yeah.
the nipples are big.
I'll say this.
Like areola or
They're
the
big,
areola.
but also they were much more open to being photographed soft.
Right.
Now no one photographs a soft
Now
nipple.
they're all hard.
Because I've seen some little nipples. I've seen some little nipples. I love that laugh.
I just like that he immediately. But like, I think also maybe because maybe women were like having babies.
Yeah,
or something.
People are sucking on titties
Well,
less. Babies
I'm
are sucking on titties
interested
less.
in the first thing was it said the thing about nipple size could say about human evolution. It's teen Vogue. Like, the kids
That's
are all
where I
right.
get my news.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I know what you mean. I do
know what I
think
mean?
the classics. I've seen plenty of classic, like Playboys and nude things where it's
Right.
like you do see a big. First of all, also the titties are conical because I think their bras were shaped like that. So there's some.
That's a huge point.
And I do think maybe that does something to the nip.
Yeah.
But I also legitimately think like
Conical.
you will never see you.
3.9.
Listen. I've thought about titties a lot in my life. You will never see a soft. No one will send a soft. I remember asking a girl was like one time I was like. I don't remember. She was like taking a nude. She was like, I think she said she's like, hold on, I got to get my nipples hard or something. I was like, just leave them natch. You gotta hard them.
What do you mean? How do you
Sometimes they're soft and big.
activate?
Sometimes you just like flick,
Wait,
like to make your nipples
the moment
hard.
I take my shirt off, it's like
I'm like it's
boing.
under
Interesting.
80 degrees. Yeah. But
Interesting.
if it's under 80
Yeah,
degrees,
you're right.
if it's 79 degrees,
Interesting.
turkey's
Austin
done.
Powers fembot. But
She
actually,
had some cool wide ass. Like I like the soft nipple. Like and that felt it felt almost vintage to me.
which I'm impressed
know?
by your point about the bras. You sound so elegant, like a fashion historian.
Yeah, seriously.
Where did you get this insight?
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
definitely fashion that is the reason that I've thought about this. It's not the like having to beat off the old pornography when I was like whatever I would find.
Also, maybe like fake tits make nipples look smaller.
It's possible, but I know what you're saying. I do think like
It could be the bras.
I also think people are self-conscious about nipple size in a way they probably
Yeah.
weren't.
before.
It's similar to bush, where it's like no one thought about it in the past, so you would see more bush.
Yeah.
Whereas no one thought about their nipple size. Where now I feel like even people with big nipples might only photograph. You got nice. Finally, do they swing, and how big are your nips? Even people with big nipples like don't photograph themselves or like make sure their nipples look smaller or something like that when they're gonna see them.
Yeah,
I mean, even like that Skims bra that has
Oh, yeah,
little
yeah.
hard nipples.
Yeah.
That's weird. That's more of a like.
I feel so
crazy.
crazy because I just don't think it's that. I'm like, yeah, I'm always operating at some chub. What's
Yeah,
that? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
half.
I'm
half
like,
smoke.
I'm half staff.
Yeah,
What is it?
Yeah,
What's yeah.
Whatever. I'm flying half staff.
right.
Yeah, I think, but everybody's
Some
different.
got soft nipples. Some people got
some
soft
eternally
nipples.
soft nipples, so they have to put on the.
Some
nipples
wide.
are
Like I remember
soft
there was a picture of Cardi B accidentally posted like her nips on IG or something.
Like no.
Yeah. It was a mistake, and her nipples were humongous. But I think she was like breastfeeding, and
Yeah, I
people were
think
like
that's
clowning her or something.
That's so crazy.
And I was like, you know what? Those
Cardi B
nips
nipples.
look pretty good. Yeah, Cardi
Yeah,
B really
yeah.
got hamburger patties as nipples.
That's so mean.
Oh, you would have got to see her nips. But I mean, if you got it up.
Claps back.
Safe
at
search is
troll.
on, not worth the.
Yeah.
Claps back at her, calls her nipples tube. Yeah, I'm sure
Anyway.
she,
And to me, great nips. Cardi, if you're listening,
and she is.
And we know you are.
we know you're a big fan. But that's an interesting theory. Yeah.
That's just my working theory.
I guess I'm going to have to look at vintage pornography and more titties.
More research.
You mine images and videotapes from the past half century.
Sounds good.
Create.
Doesn't sound bad to me.
Excel.
Wow, that's an interesting point, but I think what I need right now, gals, is the smoothest cannabis smoking experience possible. 1 second. Ah, yes, a beautiful freeze pipe. My preferred method of smoking cannabis. Don't believe me? Just watch, folks. Wow, that's wonderful.
Brittany and Clare.
What do I fucking love about this? Well, folks, what do I love about the freeze pipe? Ignore what just happened. We'll cut around that. What I love about the freeze pipe is the secret detachable glycerin chambers. What I have right here in my hand right now. You put them in the freezer. They cool, okay? You leave them in there 1 hour, and as smoke passes through, it's instantly chilled by over 300 degrees. That's right, that little cough you heard earlier, that's because I have asthma, and I probably shouldn't smoke, but my doctor said if you're gonna do it, use a freeze pipe. That's right, pal. I want you to get a freeze pipe. You know what? Before you leave, we're handing you one, and you let us know the next time you come on how much you liked it. Folks, if you want to shop the smoothest pipes, bubblers, bongs, and dab rigs at everyday prices by visiting, how you're going to do it is by visiting thefreezepipe.com and use code Stavvy for 10% off your entire order. That's thefreezepipe.com and use code Stavvy for 10% off. Shop today and start fighting fire with ice. You got to do it. Isn't that right, Eldest?
Absolutely. It's the freeze pipe is a wonderful smoking experience.
That's right. You heard it from my Albanian producer. Go to thefreezepipe.com, code Stavvy for 10% off. Anyway,
Clare and Brittany.
I bet you wish you could smoke it, but you haven't earned it yet. Maybe next time. Well, look, we could talk nipple size till the cows come home, but we have some people to help here, and
Okay.
you know we've got two. You've both lived very full lives. You have very interesting perspectives. So let's see, Eldest, what do you got here on some of these questions? And again, let's remind the people what to watch, what we're plugging.
Oh, yeah.
The special.
Hey, everyone, please check out that.
Doesn't have to be like it could be in the flow of conversation. You can just say, oh yeah, of course, go to YouTube, check out,
My voice.
you don't have to look directly into the camera. It's whatever you want to
Let me
do.
fix my hair.
Oh, just please watch my special. It's called That Is My Horse.
Nice.
It's on YouTube. I'm proud of it. Thank you. Please watch it.
And an album.
Hey everyone, my album's coming out May 16th. It's called Everything I Know How to Do. It's got
Awesome.
stand-up. I got to do a song on it, and there's some other stuff.
Oh, what other stuff?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Look into it.
Just check it out. She's not going to give it all away.
And you did it when we were in San Francisco. Is that
At
when
San
you?
Francisco at
Nice.
the Punchline.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Nice. Good place. Eldest, play us some questions here, little buddy.
Hey, Stav. What's up?
Wow.
I love the show. What's up, Elvis?
It
Elvis.
worked.
I have a question. I am a 40-year-old dude here in Chicago. My wife and I are ethically non-monogamous.
Uh-oh. Clear alert.
Short term for that is we're swingers. Everything is good. It's not like we spice things up kind of thing. It's just who we are.
Nice. Your identity.
But my question is this. We claim to be ethically non-monogamous, but we pawn our kid off on family and friends, and they don't know about our sex lives. Nobody really knows about the sex lives of other people, but I do feel like I'm taking advantage a little bit when I drop my kid off and my sister's first sleepover, and then go and have a bacchanal that night. So I don't know. Am I being a hypocrite by saying, I'm an ethical swinger, but lie flat-faced to my family?
That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
I'm
love
conflicted.
this.
I probably can assume what you're going to say, but I wanted to hear the stage wisdom
That's
you got.
all right.
I don't think it's a
So
problem.
yeah, thanks.
It's like you're going out to
Hope the good
dinner,
work.
you drop the kid off.
Yeah,
You're the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Yeah, but okay. Here's the thing. Here's my thing about this. Where this kind of thing always. I think it's cool to fucking suck, do whatever you want. But at the same time, once you're like, kids is the thing where it's like, yeah, there's a lot of shit you want to do
Right.
that you can't do anymore.
Right.
Like, yeah, if you have a kid, right, you can't get high. Like I've thought about that where it's like if I ever had a kid, those nights where you're like you put the kid to bed at a night where it's like, oh, if everything goes right, I can get stoned and be fine. But what if that little fucker has to go to the emergency? You're like constantly on call.
You say that, but I've nannied a lot in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
I
well,
think But I understand your point.
You know what? I mean,
or what threshold.
right? Where I mean, like you can't be who you want to be as much as you want to. Basically, like the fun shit you did before kids, whether that's sucking and fucking, getting fucked up, going out to dinner, having a night out. You can do all that stuff, but you have to like do it less. And if you're getting your ass eaten is interfering with your parenting, that you might have to take it back a couple notches.
I have a similar feeling about like, you know how you go to a brewery and everyone just brings their kids to a brewery? It's like, just because we're outside doesn't mean it's not a bar. Like, you're still bringing your kid to a bar. It's the daytime, but you're still drinking double IPAs. And you're driving home with your children.
Right.
It's one thing to go to a little picnic and have a,
wine out
drink and whatever, but it's like if you're getting fucked up.
You're trying to have your cake and eat it too.
So I think that's interesting because that's a little, for me, okay, so that's right. Like, I've thought about that too about bars, like when kids are at bars. Like, oh, why do they have to be in this environment that's specifically not for them?
I don't mind the kid essentially coming into a bar as long as the parent is like, responsible about it.
Right,
like, it can't be one of those, like, I definitely spent some time in bars. Well, my dad would build a lot of bars and restaurants. That was most of his business. So I would go to bars with him when I was tagging along at work. And you would see, like, the kid whose dad is just like, yeah, here's 25 cents, go play Mortal Kombat. And he's just getting fucked up. Like, sad. You can't be that guy. I don't think you would have to be, again, puritanical about kids being around bars, but as long as it's about responsibility, the way I look at it.
Well, the difference is, in his words, he's pawning his kids off. So in this case, the kids are in this, like, environment and under some guidance. Guidance figures that are like, I wonder... I think I'm having a hard time seeing it so differently from Claire's earlier point about dinner.
So basically his question is
what is
it's not even about what it's the ethical part of it for him, which is like, I'm lying to these people. He's getting people to cover for him because he's like, I had to get another shift.
Well, I think the
and him and his wife are fucking some,
the ethical part is
burlesque dancer.
100% a big titty burlesque. I think the ethical part of the ethical non-monogamy is supposed to be between like
you and your partner.
You and the partner and your other partners knowing about each other and all that.
Right.
It has nothing to do with like your family knowing about it, because why would they want to know about your sex life anyway?
Sure.
But I guess if you are pawning your child,
it's the thing about like being like, get the fuck out of here so I can fuck.
If there is an emergency and you're in the middle of getting
and you're gagged,
double sucked, or whatever,
Eiffel Tower,
and your mom
your wife
calls
is airtight.
Your mom calls you and it's like, your son's having an asthma attack because he's a little bitch or whatever. You're like, oh no. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like a Home Alone situation.
And I think what it comes down to is. Did you see that, Brittany Eldest? Just sit a little closer in.
Wait a minute, everybody!
You could have just said that to her, Eldest.
Wait,
I know. I figured.
Wait! I have two things to say. One,
sorry, Eldest just gave Brittany a note in the search bar, and it didn't really work.
I'm curious how I was supposed. Oh, that's how. Yeah. That's the chain of command.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Thank you. The edge. What edge? Can you help me?
Just don't hang over the armrest so much, because you're like
stay within the couch.
Yeah.
I said on Claire's lap. Okay.
Yeah. Get in there.
Okay.
There you go. Perfect.
Forgive me.
No.
So, you had something, Brittany, because I have a couple thoughts here.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine. My instinct is that it's fine. But I understand. Or go ahead.
My point is just it is fine, but I think the pawning off and the like, he cashing in a lot of like, hey, watch my kid because he's horny, where it's like you can only like ask your friends and family to watch your kids so much. To me, he's not doing anything wrong here. But it just goes back to the general, even dinner or even going to concerts or even like your hobbies. I'm just saying, whatever your hobbies are, they will take a hit if you have small children. And my only point is he abusing the like watch my kid thing because he wants. He's going out and fucking, which is not the fucking is not the problem. Is that even if it was, I have to go practice with my band 4 nights a week, or I have to go whatever. I'm just thinking like, are you overdoing it? And he clearly feels some guilt somewhere, right, about this, about pawning them off, about this? Do you feel some guilt about not being with your kid as much? Like, and does he also feel some fucked up way about, I assume when you have a young kid, you're like, who even am I? I know I have friends who've gone through this where they're like, am I just a parent? And then you kind of want to really cling on to your identity. And my point is, you're not going to be what you were before the kid,
right?
But you're something new. But you don't have to be like just the person who spends all day with your kid either.
I have a few thoughts. Or I'm sorry, Claire, am I speaking over you?
No, go ahead.
I feel like there's variables. Mm-hmm. Okay, so like one is, did he specify they're young? I mean, they sound young, right?
He said 4, right?
He said 40.
Okay. Then I'm wondering, like, is he the kind of...
He's 40? Oh, I thought the kid was 4. Whatever. Let's just say...
He's a 40-year-old dude in Chicago.
So I'm kind of like... That could imply that the kid could be young, right? Like a little... Maybe there's like the variable is like age. Is there like a factor, like after 8? Is it like... Would he feel less guilt?
Can we also be... sorry.
Wait.
Even if it's not young, then it's like, it is fucking weird if your parents are like, hey, gotta go suck off Uncle Scotty, see you later.
Yeah.
It does something weird to a kid. I have a friend whose parents were like this. Like, you basically, you do have to, your hobby of sucking and fucking when you have kids, you do have to think about how that's going to affect the kid.
Of course.
Is all I'm saying.
My other thought is like, well, do you think he's the kind of person that's kind of like, I don't know if you Venmo a family member, right? That feels weird. But I mean, like a friend, or like, do you buy them dinner? Like, I'm wondering to what extent. And would he feel less guilty if it was in fact something like practicing with a band or going rock climbing or whatever?
I think band would be worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like, why?
Yeah, why are you?
No one's even coming. You're not going to make it.
You're not going to feed your family.
Yeah,
so
are you going to feed your family cum?
Yeah. I think I'm just wondering how often it's happening.
Right,
Because
right.
this whole thing, I'm just like exhausted. Like, this life sounds exhausting.
Totally.
Having a child and being non-monogamous and swingy.
It's a lot. Ugh. So that's what I'm saying is like...
Too much.
I even, like, to me, I don't get, like, I see the appeal of, jealousy stuff aside, I see the appeal of, like, being in an open relationship if everybody's cool with it. To me, the hardest thing is not even, like, the jealousy stuff. It's the, like, isn't the point of being in a relationship you like that you don't have to go on first dates? That you don't have to keep meeting? Like, you're locked in. You get to do other shit now. You're, like, happy. That's how to me, like, I hooked up with somebody who was in an open relationship, and she was, like, on Tinder constantly, and it's, like, that part of being single sucks. I mean, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
No, being single
I got this. I got the smash. Whatever. It's all good.
Yeah.
But
so it sounds like everything's working out for you.
For me, it was great. But what I'm saying is, like, what's the point? What's the point of doing? To me, that's my hang up with it. Where it's like you're in a relationship, but then you just voluntarily get to be also act single, sort of some of the bad parts of it. But then, anyway, I would like to get your take.
It's a different kind of.
But anyway, that was just a digression to the main point of, like, that seems like too much. And then you throw that in plus having a kid. And it's like, to me, and, everybody knows I'm no prude. But to me, this is like, brother, you can't be a swinger to this degree. This is like the shit you pick up after your kid's gone, is in my view.
That's why most swingers
like after college
are like typically like
moving up.
60,
retired.
Yeah.
The
to
kids
me,
have moved out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like even if you're pawning people off, it's like eventually they're gonna figure this out.
Yeah.
We had our buddy Sam who did the telemarketers doc. Really fucking awesome. His parents were all open and swingers, and they would just bring friends over and fuck them. And how weird it feels when your roommate. Remember, how your roommate's fucking someone, you're like, I was just really wanted to watch fucking TV. I didn't want to hear you fuck through the walls.
I feel like a kid shouldn't.
Imagine if that's your fucking dad.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe the idea is that he's worried about frequency, because to your point, it's like, what if they just did it fewer times?
Like once a month.
Treat yourself every once in a while.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm okay with
ice
that.
cream took a long time.
And then the other,
sorry. A freeze?
They were freezing it today. Well, the other thing, though, is, so there's that aspect, and there's also, how would his friends and family feel if it's like, hey, man, I'm here doing you a solid, because I thought you needed me to, you just needed some time, whatever. Would does he feel guilty lying to his family. Basically? And that's not a sex thing at all. That's a pure like your relationship with your family thing, which is a whole other aspect of this. But anyway, dial it back a little bit, and then once the kid really knows what the fuck's going on, it's special occasions,
it's kind of just like don't bring it home when the kids are
exactly
around. That's too confusing.
Yeah, it's too much for a kid. So anyway,
be safe, have fun.
It also feels like I'm excited to be less horny. Like I'm just like being an old guy in a rocking chair seems awesome. When my penis has no control over me, I can't wait for that.
It's gonna take a long time.
I don't know.
I've fucked enough old guys to know that.
But
it's gonna take a while. It's gonna be like it has to not be functioning.
Well, that's even that. It's not like my dick really gets hard that much. It's not like my dick's getting hard half the time.
Yeah, actually, what I'm talking
about. What are you talking? You just said you fucked enough old guys. I know you've sucked some 3/4 hards. They've never fully come to life.
That's the best part.
That does sound awesome.
All right. You got it, buddy.
Right,
Fuck you. Next question.
We'll talk about being ethically non-monogamous another day.
Yeah. I literally want to have
Stavvy,
you and Nick on together. That'd be
Gus.
so funny.
So, I'll start with some background information.
Thank you.
I was in a long-term relationship from about 2018 to 2022, and it was a fucked relationship. He was addicted to drugs. It was tough, but eventually my family helped me get through the breakup, and it was one of those situations where it was kind of like he would threaten to kill himself if I broke up with him. So I kind of always had it in the back of my head, like, this is a possibility, this could happen. And I got in a pretty serious relationship, like, right after the breakup. Like, I was ready to move on and find love, and I'm still with the guy. We've been together for over 2 years. It's the best relationship I've ever been in. I plan on marrying this guy one day, but my ex committed suicide probably about a year ago, and it's completely like turned my life over, fucked me up. Going to therapy for it, but I have nightmares. I'm truly haunted by this person, and it's something that I just feel so weird talking to my current boyfriend about. We're in a serious relationship, but I just feel like I can't talk about it, and it's changed me. I feel like a different person. Like, I'm just haunted by him. His family's blamed me for it. And I just don't know how to tell, like, my current boyfriend, like, I do think about my ex every single day. Like, I have so much guilt. Like, I feel like I killed him, especially by getting in such a serious relationship right out of it. So, I don't know. I'm struggling. It's something that's on my mind all the time, and I don't know what to tell him when he's like, hey, are you okay? And that's like, no. I'm currently going through when my head's back with my ex, and I'm suffering some guilt. So I don't know. Should I talk to him about this, or just keep the silent thing of going to therapy, just working on myself?
I got
but
thoughts.
Let me know.
Please,
Thank you. And by the way, I do have pretty great tips.
Nice.
Lord have
Respect.
At the end of the day, she knows what plays on this show.
Give a little something for Papa.
I was feeling pretty down, but you kind of pet me back up at the end, and now I'm ready to go.
Now I'm thinking about it.
I was zoning out. No. Go ahead, Claire.
Well, the boy I lost my virginity to when I was 16, when I broke up with him, he would threaten to kill himself all the time, and he tried to drink himself to death.
Damn.
And for a long time, I blamed myself for this guy trying to hurt himself. And it took a long time for me to be like, no, people make choices on their own. I only have so much effect on what another person is going to do to themselves and how they think about themselves. And I think you just got to remember, absolutely not your fault. At all.
No, truly, 0%.
That was another person's thing. Probably didn't even have to do with you. And it's never your fault.
In fact, I think you should feel angry, if anything.
Yeah.
Because what this fucking guy has done is, even if he knew that he had this going, he weaponized a feeling he probably already had. He knew he's a bad. Honestly, I feel this way too, because I've had people in my life have threatened this kind of thing. Like, people in my family have done this kind of behavior, and it's so selfish to do that, because either they manipulate you into getting what they want, or if they do go through with it, which is what's happening with you, is like they've almost made it so that you'll feel guilty, even though it's clearly not your fault. And of course, it's natural for you to, you're clearly an empathetic person. Clearly, there was some kind of fucked up connection between you and this type of person. Like, this kind of guilt clearly works on you. So it's like it's not your. It's like a your pathology thing that's really fucking you up. So you shouldn't feel ashamed of a natural reaction, but it truly isn't your fault, and it's fucked up of anybody to do this when they know that you probably feel this, and his family can really go fuck themselves.
That makes me so sad. Also, so what I'm wondering about is, like, has her current boyfriend made her feel like, to what extent is it she's feeling like she's not comfortable talking about it to her boyfriend, versus he has showed that he's uncomfortable talking about other relationship stuff for him. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
right. Is this completely all in her head? You mean?
Yeah. Versus, is it like the current guy who's been like, oh, I don't really feel comfortable talking about him or an ex thing? I'm just wondering.
From what I can tell, it seems like it's been such a fucked up thing for her.
It's just a burden on her.
It's such a burden, yeah. And I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to know what you guys think, but to me, it does feel like the kind of thing. Well, first of all, obviously go to therapy and obviously talk to an actual trained professional about this, right?
No matter how great your tits are.
And, like, even if they don't care that you have big jumbos, even if they don't, naturals. They know a thing or two. Look, they are to this, treating this program what I am to thinking your tits are awesome, right? But I also do think my inclination is you should, like, there is some I feel a lot of like shame stuff coming off, for a lot of like guilt stuff, and I think talking to the person you're currently with about this, like, it's a huge burden, it's a huge secret that you've made it a secret, which it shouldn't be. It's a tragic thing that someone did to you. Like, you are the victim in this situation. Somebody threatening to kill themselves, then doing it, and then people in their life blaming you and trying to really make you feel like shit. People are acting fucked up to you. Yeah. You did nothing. You have nothing to hide, nothing to feel bad about. And going to people that this is like, you're not talking about an ex to a current boyfriend the way it's like, oh, we always went on vacation. You're not talking about, this isn't the kind of stuff that should threaten somebody. This is just like if your ex fucking stole your car and totaled it, you would complain to your current partner about it. Like, right. This is a bad thing an ex has done to you. And even though, it obviously is more complicated than that because they're dead, but, like, you should feel comfortable, I think, to bring this up and to be like, hey, this is a really fucked up situation. I've been to therapy about it. I felt weird because I didn't want it to feel like I was hung up on this person, but I am fucked up about this. This might take me a while to get through. So if you ever see me zoning out and being sad, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think that's how you have to.
It's a major traumatic event.
He could support her better, probably.
If you flip it, like, if I was dating someone, they were going through this, I would want to know, especially if it was like weighing on them.
Of course.
I would feel like weird not to know. Not to add another layer of guilt for her. But
of course, yeah. Hey, you're kind of ruined. I ordered WrestleMania, and you're bringing this fucking shit up again. The Rock is back, you fucking bitch. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Yeah, exactly.
But I feel like even her just talking about it with her partner, like, just letting it out into, like, your daily life will also help you see, like, how, absurd it is to think that, like, it is your fault in any way.
Of course.
Because it's really not.
Yeah, you need perspective from the people who you care about the most and who care about you the most.
Yeah.
And the family thing, his family, like, clearly I don't know. I imagine for them, it's like they need something to blame. They need like an element to blame
instead of clearly whose fault it is.
His family. He's not his family. So
I know, dude.
Not your fault.
Not your fault. Work towards talking to your partner, but also like other people in your life. If you were going through any other trauma, you would be leaning on your boyfriend and your family, whatever. So look at it that way. Try and free yourself from the guilt. Talk to your therapist about it, about maybe working towards it. But definitely, I think anybody that you have a real connection to would want to know about this. They don't want to be kept in the dark. They don't want to just be like, thinking nothing's wrong.
Mm-hmm. No.
Sorry about that, but, consolation prize, you have fat tits. Next question, Eldis.
We don't know if they're big.
She just said nice.
She said great, nice.
Great.
Which I guess she probably knows what Stavros likes.
That's a good point.
And you're right. Great tits don't have to be humongo. I've seen a nice pair of little ass titties. So if they're little, that's also a consolation prize. Well, I'm sure. I trust you that you know that your tits are good. Next question, LD.
Oh no.
Hey, Stavvy, big fan.
Thanks, dude.
So, I'll cut right to the chase. I've been dating this girl for about a year and a half now. Okay. It's a great relationship, best relationship I've ever had.
Nice.
There's one issue, and it's that her pussy really stinks.
Oh, come on.
Like, I've tried to go down on her a few times, and I just can't do it. I gag.
What?
And so I lie to her, and I tell her, I'm like, I don't like eating pussy. Pussy makes me, like, gag all the time.
Pussy
like,
makes me gag.
Pussy. That's not true. Like, I've been in
yucky.
And I love to eat pussy.
He's like, this is eating me up. I have to pose as a guy that doesn't eat pussy because my girlfriend's shit reeks. This is killing me, Stav. All right, let's hear him out, I suppose.
All the time. Like, I just don't like eating pussy. But that's not true. Like, I've been in other relationships, and I love to eat pussy. It's just her stinks. And so I don't know how, I don't know.
Year and a half hasn't eaten pussy.
How to
That's crazy.
broach that subject. I want to do right by her. I want to, make her feel good.
I want to do right by her.
Right by
I want
you,
to give her
baby.
that pleasure. I know she wants me to eat her out more often than I do. Because, seriously, we've been together a year and a half, and it's been less than 5 times. I just can't get myself to do it, and I always have some dumbass excuse, and I'm tired of making them. I want to be real with her because I love her. I want to do right by her, so I appreciate any advice you give me, and go fuck yourself.
He's coming to us hat in hand, just wants to do right by his woman.
Oh, shucks, mister. Do you have any deep pussy stinking tonic so I can take it back to my missus?
I don't know. What if it's just chemistry? Like, what if it's off for him? And then
that could definitely be it.
I don't know.
Or maybe since she started fucking you, you're
maybe
stinking.
Yours is
making her pussy
messing up her pH.
That's possible.
But yeah, that's a bummer.
Have you encountered any stinky pussies, or what do you do? Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it's like a day-to-day. No, yeah.
Day-to-day.
You've encountered stinky pussies.
I have, but not. I mean, honestly, not that crazy. Not the majority.
You know
fine.
what is stinky? The part of like the sweaty. If someone's been like working out.
But this is a year and a half. Let's just take him for what he's saying. Is it possible that we're dealing with a medical thing here?
Yeah, 100%.
Because of course I've dealt. You come across as somebody who's just like needs to wash.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that. What if it's not that?
Are we sure he's not eating her asshole on accident?
Yeah. Is there any shit coming out of her pussy?
Now are you opening? You gotta open your eyes. Just once.
Can you double check it's not her asshole?
He needs his glasses.
Just check.
Well.
Yeah, let's talk. Yeah, listen.
There could be a way.
I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn.
I don't know. It could be a pH.
Hey, are you feeling okay?
Put a pH strip in her pussy.
What you're saying though is true. Sometimes people just don't taste good to each other.
I believe that. I think pheromones wise.
Cilantro's Some people can't do it.
Yeah,
Maybe her pussy cilantro.
It's crazy. It's crazy they've gotten
totally.
this far, and like he finds the pussy smell like weird. Because sometimes like
Or
you
you
know, I feel like somewhere out there's a guy for this girl that her pussy just tastes neutral to him.
Totally.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
So they're not meant to be. You're saying break up with her?
I mean, yeah. If you think your girl's pussy smells funky, like that's probably a sign.
But what if she was fucking had a different disability, Eldis? You know, what if she's a
Disability?
fucking she's got a what if she's got a medically stinky pussy? You're telling me you should break up with her if she's in a fucking wheelchair?
What if
too?
her pussy's sort of dying faster than the rest of her body or something?
That's true. That's true. It's like that movie Jack.
It's like her
Her
pussy's,
pussy's aging.
Jack.
Her pussy's aging at an unsustainable rate.
I feel bad for this situation.
Of course.
Because I've had a stinky pussy, and I figured it out.
You did what?
And I've eaten stinky pussy, and I figured it out.
Right.
I think it all depends on how much love is there.
You think he can love his way through?
I don't think this guy can.
I'm feeling like, He's calling.
Yeah. It's just
Sexual health professional stuff.
5 times is in a year and a half is insane.
Yeah. Also,
That's fucking crazy
that's
in a
why-
relationship.
That's why I feel like it's down to their literal chemistry, because people can be. It can be day to day. Where I feel like unless somebody's really had an off pH for so long, that just feels long. It feels like there's something more innate, which is tough. Like I like parsnips, but sometimes parsnips taste really strongly of ammonia to me.
Yeah. Sure.
I don't know if I'm going to quit parsnips.
Yeah.
But I'll just be a little bit
I can
careful.
really relate to that.
But if there's a very rank, but if there's a really rank parsnip, interesting.
I'm like, okay, solidarity. I don't know. My take is it's chemical.
That sucks. I hate when that happens because, like, have you ever been really into somebody and then they're bad kisser?
Yes, and that's really sad.
Brutal.
You can't get past
That's
it. You
brutal.
can't get past
You can't
it.
get
Or you
past
guys-
it. Honestly, you can't be with that person.
Or if they have bad breath or something, it's
Or if
really
you just,
bad.
or even you just don't click at all sexually, and
that
you have
happens.
chemistry and everything
And you
feels
like
the
their
right
brain.
thing,
Yeah.
and then it's just like, this sucks. So I don't know. I mean,
You might just have a good friend on your hands here. I don't know.
he says he's the best relationship he's ever had. How old is he? Did he say? How old did he say? What he didn't say? Is it completely out of the realm of possibility that she has some kind of rotten pussy disease? What do we think?
No, it's not out of possibility.
Okay, but how do you even bring that up to someone?
How do you broach it? He could act like it was the first time he noticed
whoa!
I think if you really love this person, you should
You're
tell
like,
her the
hey,
truth.
it. Truth or like, hey, I want to.
You're right, but it's just it's so funny to just sit someone down and be like, shit smells bad. Go to the doctor.
I think you can be like,
It's okay.
how's everything feeling there?
What does your pussy smell to you? You do, do like the Pepsi challenge.
Yeah.
It's like, here's cinnamon. Here's your pussy. It's like.
I heard a story once about a girl, I think it's somebody who told it in their stand-up, where she had left a tampon in her pussy and didn't or forgot about it.
Oh.
And
Happened to my friend.
someone went down on her and was threw up because it smelled so
Threw
bad.
up?
And she was like, I don't know what's going on. And it turned out to be
Oh.
a very old tampon.
How the fuck do you do that?
Because you can just kind of lose stuff in there.
Really?
Man.
It happened to my friend, and she was in a relationship, and so I guess what happened is that the guy was like, whoa, and he opened the windows, and so it was
Maybe
enough.
this is the same person.
No, this
This
is
is a
my
different person.
friend
Okay.
who's not in comedy, but I
Open the windows.
it was
This man is
enough.
like this man rented an industrial fan.
But here's the thing, it was
Like
supposed to
it,
got
like it
hard
flooded, and he's
tampon.
trying to get fucking not moss, mold out of his fucking basement.
Did a rat die under the couch?
I think in that situation, it was so unusual
That's unusual.
that it was kind of
Let's
funny.
get a cross breeze going. Your pussy smells so bad. I need a wind tunnel to get this out
I would look into something being stuck up there.
for a year and a half.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, huh? It's been a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
You got to tell her.
does this happen after she showers too? That's the ultimate thing. Is like if she's fresh from the shower and her pussy tastes weird or whatever, smells bad to you It's either the chemistry thing or a medical thing. It's one or the other. That's my only.
Maybe she just
that's my only piece of science.
Like
that I
breathable
have
underwear,
left.
like cotton.
I feel like he has to tell her he has like nothing to lose. Because if he doesn't, this relationship just can't work for any longer.
Yeah. No,
He's
he's gonna
grossed
get
out by
frustrated.
his girl's pussy. That just doesn't. That just
Really sad.
Not a recipe for success. Fucking her with a clothespin on his nose.
I dated a guy who really didn't like eating pussy, and when he went down to do it, he would do this.
Oh my God. No.
I could see him like prepare and wince and like.
Yeah. You gotta have
that
your.
really
You have to get your. You have to eat your veggies.
That's so not.
How long
hot.
did you date this guy?
Of
Too
him.
long.
That's a like 3 times max
That was a
situation.
bummer.
That's
Damn.
so.
I guess you didn't
that's so
believe in
lame.
yourself at the time.
I didn't.
Yeah, you
no,
did.
I really didn't.
Yeah.
Then I cut him loose.
Nice.
I'll find a guy who gets in
The
there.
guy gets in there, has a
Yeah,
nice
eyes
size penis.
closed.
All right. Well, look. Tell her, I guess. Whatever. We've talked about this.
Tell her
enough.
I said to tell.
You got to bring it up.
You got to bring
You got to
it
just
up.
be like, look,
Love is love.
there's something going on here.
And be like, I
want
think you're so
to.
sexy, all that.
Yeah,
like,
this is the
yeah.
best
I feel
relationship
beautiful.
I've ever been
I love you so
in.
much. I want to eat your pussy like crazy,
wanna
but the
climb
stank
in
is
there.
stopping me. How do we get this to stop? Because I'm going crazy not eating pussy. I've presented myself. I'm a fraud. I've presented myself as a man who doesn't like to eat pussy. Unfortunately, that's not what's going on.
I've been lying to you.
I've been lying to you this whole time. I love eating pussy. Your shit's,
Oh,
your shit's
man.
bad. All right, good luck, pal.
That would be devastating.
Can I go pee real quick?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. We're pretty close. How long have we been going, LD?
143.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We'll do one more, maybe.
What's the story behind this guy? Custom made?
Not custom made. You can get it online.
Cute.
Yeah, we were just looking for stuff to fill out the aesthetic, and we wanted to, celebrate large bodies.
Absolutely.
And if we move into a bigger studio, we should get my body molded.
That'd be.
We should get
There's those statues in certain museums that are like of founding fathers that are bronze. And they're like a perfect mold of. Well, or they're anyway. Like
I got to
their
do
head
it.
and-
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That would be great, actually.
It's an afternoon. You're standing.
That would be great.
Surrounded
Some
by
power stance.
power stands.
That would be fucking awesome.
A
Or I'm
layer
just
of
like,
clay.
we'll have to figure it out. But I do like it.
Yeah.
I do like it as a concept. Fuck, I'm fucking hungry. I guess we'll just wait till Claire gets back. Any more Japanese shit you want to talk about?
Can I have a prompt?
Nope.
Any more Japanese shit? You went to Japan.
I did go to Japan. I liked it. Very orderly.
Yeah. And where were you in Japan? Were you in Tokyo?
Tokyo. I mean, I will say it does feel like the kind of place that's just allowed to be racist.
Yeah.
They're just
I have
like,
a lot of thoughts about that.
You're just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
you can't. They'll smile. They'll be like, no, only Japanese people
In fact,
here.
like that, I have a memory of my dad not being served by. It was like a chicken truck, and then they like didn't.
Well,
give the
that's.
serve. Yeah.
I'm gonna sit that one out. Actually, I'm gonna let that one pass by. But that,
You want to speak to that?
nope. Keep talking.
And,
It's bad business. All right. These guys allergic to money? No.
And it was with my Filipina nanny, and he but anyway, Japan's really racist. I think that things are evolving now as like there's more like mixed Japanese people in the public
Yeah.
eye. But the point is that they don't have like, to my understanding, legally, like they don't have, we have anti-discrimination laws because of like out of necessity, right?
Yeah.
Like in response to stuff. Japan, as a small
Totally.
homogenic like island nation, does not structurally have
No.
like you can't bar someone. So I think that there's a lot. And also like I think that now as for it's like hard to get citizenship too if you're not of full Japanese descent. It's like but there are like I feel like the face of Japan is evolving. So for example, I have like two thoughts about this. One is that more kind of recently on those pageants, like beauty pageants, like global beauty pageants, one year Miss Japan was half black, and then there was a big pushback on Twitter, and then the following year the Miss Japan was actually half Indian. So like in some
you got Naomi Osaka, that's huge.
Yeah, that's huge,
like,
right?
Rui Hachimura, you do have you have like big athletes.
Athletes who, and athletes like present some kind of honor or whatever.
For sure,
I think I just remembered something, which is my mom always tells me that my dad, when I was born, the people at the hospital asked him, they thought he was either an athlete or a jazz player.
Damn, that's classic racism.
Yeah.
That's like
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Filipinos, I feel like, are kind of the coolest.
Filipinos are kind of just break dancing all over the world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
They feel like Asians that wish they were black, or some even say they are black. Which is a little much.
For some reason, people say
Yeah.
I don't really want to get into that. Because I am pretty white person.
I see.
Have you been there?
The Philippines?
Yeah.
No, but I really want to go.
Once.
I want to go.
Her mom was there setting up a sweatshop.
Yeah, literally. No, it was from my mom's work. I'll just keep it there. It was from my work, and I was, tagged along.
I would really like to go. Where my people are from is around like Boracay, which is like the nice, what would we call it? A resorty.
Beautiful.
I want to go too.
Area.
Yeah, it looks nice. I'm a big beach guy. I like the food. I like all that shit.
I love the food.
Yeah, it's a long ass trip.
I think the politics over there are kind of funky. Right
Yeah.
now.
There's a guy.
It's like fascist or
Yeah,
president or whatever.
Like fascist or whatever.
Yeah.
Duterte.
Yeah. True.
I wish I knew more about the world.
Nah.
But all I know is that
Who needs
I'm
that?
in it. And I'm looking
Yeah.
That's right. Get those big nips out here.
My pussy smells normal today.
Normal pussy, big nipples. The dream. The Filipino dream.
Filipino fascism.
Play us out with a nice, fun question here, Eldest.
Here we go.
Hey, Stavvy. Loved your show in Austin, Texas.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Fire show. Love you, Eldest. And hello, guest. I have a simple problem, and it actually relates to you, Eldest, and you, Stavvy. So I was wondering if you had any advice on writing a toast, man. I have my brother's wedding in September later this year, and I know some things to write. I'm not a comedian, but how do you write a meaningful yet lighthearted, jokey toast? I'm going to be speaking in front of about 100 people. It's going to be crazy, and I need to have something prepared to write. Really nervous about it, and wondering if y'all had tips. Love you guys so much. Bye.
Did you toast? Did you do a speech?
I was the officiant.
I'm officiating my sister's wedding.
Yeah.
So
I did his and I did Christina's, our friend Christina.
Oh, cool.
Are like two of my best. We were roommates together. We were really close.
My big dick husband officiated a wedding.
Wes's wedding. Yeah. They were on together. They did the podcast together. Wes and Nick. Yeah.
It's kind of a hard thing to do. I think writing a toast.
I don't. I think it's kind of easy, to be honest.
I actually have like a thought. It's like
I think there's a formula, but go ahead.
There's a formula, and this is like to that point. So a basic joke structure is like thing, and surprise thing, or a more escalated thing. You could write a million of that, and those are jokes, and there's a surprise element, and it feels like
you don't want to overdo it though.
That structure, sure. Okay,
if you're this guy,
you can do two.
Yeah.
No.
What's that?
Like you're like you don't want to overdo it, and you're about to say like if you're this guy, like not even just if you're this guy, like even it's not like I roasted Eldest for 10 minutes, right? It was like I hit him hard in the beginning. Like it's almost like you want one big
hit him
one.
Hard in the big.
You want one opening. You want something funny, which you want to roast your friend a little bit in a nice way.
Yeah.
you want to be complimentary of the partner to an incredible degree, right? You want to be complimentary of their union. You want to even if you don't think these kids are going to make it, pretend, right? Like that's not what this shit is not about. Telling hard truths. This is like being funny in a this is my best friend sort of way, like roast him, talk about how a really fun thing you could do is talk about how an easy joke in a situation like this is like what a mistake she's making in a fun little way. Like I can't believe even after, like I had a joke about how I knew Eldest's wife loved him because she was roommates with me for a year. Like she put up with being roommates with me, Eldest, and another one of our friends. And I was like, oh, this girl's in, and that crushed and so you just I think you want to hammer one funny joke. It's just something funny to break the ice, set the tone. Don't be afraid to just speak, like to hit people with a lot of, to be sincere. It's a wedding. Yeah. You don't have to be ironic. You don't have to be detached. This is just positive. You want to be really, talk about how happy you are for them. And then I would say you want one up top, one near the end, but you don't even want to close with a joke. You want to close with something sincere, super sincere and sweet. And then, and then maybe in the middle you want to throw in another joke.
And ultimately, I'm assuming the friend asked him, right? So he can like lean into that. Remember that,
yeah, like
he trusts him. It's like he's close to him. He can like carry that, I'm sure.
Yeah,
know?
I say hit him with the Webster's Dictionary defines marriage. Union
defines love
between my dumb brother.
Did you get to punch up your husband's officiating? Did you riff with him about it?
No, I didn't riff with him about it, but he did a good job.
He did a good job. Nice.
Awesome.
It wasn't too funny.
Exactly.
But it was just funny enough.
You just want to be a little funny, and I think especially people who aren't I think people who think they need to overdo it, they think they need to make it a roast battle.
Yeah.
That's not what it is. It's like, this is about you. Here's the other thing to remember. The audience, think about the person you have to make laugh is the bride's grandmother. Like that lady needs to laugh at everything. You can't have a joke that's off color even to her. Like those are the people that are the arbiters. Like it is like you kind of have to be funny and sweet and whatever, and you can be a little edgy, tongue in cheek, but no cursing, no like, oh, this guy used to bang whores. I can't believe. Like, don't do any of that
referencing
shit.
Anchorman or anything like that. Like, just keep it normal.
Yeah. Try focus on a nice opening joke, and then maybe a middle joke, and then end on something sweet. Definitely end on something super sweet, and how about happy you are. And also, big compliments to the bride, for sure. Especially since you're on the the groom side, and vice versa if you were on the bride side. Big compliments to the groom.
People like that, I guess.
They love it.
I'm officiating my sisters, right, in a bit, and I want to. They're both 5'4", and I want to address this in some way up top. But then I guess what I was thinking in the way.
What are these? The fucking cake toppers? When did the fucking bride and groom get here?
Oh man. Well.
Yeah, you got some good stuff.
Well, anyway, but in my head, I was like, okay, the trajectory has to be ending in sincere or sweet. Or
For sure.
But then the whole time, to be like, to remember it's like your baton to hold. Like, the bell, like, ask not for whom the bell tolls, the bell tolls for thee.
Yeah.
Totally. It's like, you should feel in charge, be self-aware. If it feels awkward or nerve-wracking to speak in front of that many people, just kind of laugh about it. It's fine.
And think about it's the context of this too, right? You're one of a few toasts.
I'm sure.
So you don't want to think about you don't have to be the most sincere guy. That's the father of the bride or the mother of the whatever. Like you're there to be kind of lighthearted, fun, but still even within that, the funniest guy at one of these things, the funniest person at one of these things shouldn't just be funny. It should be 30% funny, 70% everything else, I think.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though you have a questionable taste in comedy, I think you'll figure it out.
He didn't tell us how big his tits were. I don't appreciate that. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for us. Thank you. Thanks for coming. This was a very fun episode.
Thanks for having us.
We'll listen to the album, watch the special. We'll link to all that stuff. Give us a nice review. Do whatever on Stavvy's World. Subscribe. And we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.